If you think you've seen everything Pennsylvania has to offer, think again, because hidden behind quiet roads, deep forests, and places nobody talks about are 13 locations that don't show up on your average map. Some of them were abandoned by entire towns. Others were built for reasons we still don't fully understand. And a few? Well, you're really not supposed to be there. From a diner shaped like a UFO, to forgotten train wrecks and ruins swallowed by time. These aren't just destinations, they're stories waiting to be uncovered. So grab a seat, because we're about to explore 13 hidden places in Pennsylvania that even most locals don't know exist. And trust me, number 1 will change the way you see this state forever. Number 13. Doolittle Station UFO Diner. Just off a quiet road in Clarion County, there's a diner that most people miss entirely, because it looks like a spaceship landed in the woods. It's called the Doolittle Station UFO Diner, and from the outside, it really does look like something out of an old sci-fi movie. This place isn't just a diner. It's part of a series of connected train cars, each with its own theme. There's a train car museum, a pizza shop, even a craft beer tap room, all tucked away in converted rail cars. But the star of the show is the silver UFO, which actually serves food inside. The interior is decked out in full alien theme, from glowing lights to vintage posters. What makes it so hidden? There's barely any signage on the main road. If you don't already know it's there, you'll probably pass right by. It's a perfect stop for road trippers, families, or anyone who loves offbeat attractions. And honestly, it's the kind of weird, wonderful place you'll want to tell people about afterward, because it feels like you discovered it yourself. Number 12. Cowans Gap State Park. Just beyond the winding mountain roads of Fulton County lies a hidden pocket of calm that most travelers drive right past, Cowans Gap State Park. Tucked between Tuscarora and Cove Mountains, this place isn't loud or flashy. There are no big signs screaming for your attention. But if you happen to turn in, you'll find a 42-acre lake, miles of peaceful trails, and a setting so still it feels like time just slows down. The park is part of Buchanan State Forest, and what makes it special isn't just the scenery, it's the feeling. Whether you're sitting by the water, hiking under a canopy of leaves, or enjoying a quiet picnic with no cell service buzzing, Cowans Gap gives you something rare these days: real, honest quiet. In the summer, families come here to swim in the lake or rent a boat and drift out to the middle, just floating, surrounded by mountains. In the fall, the hills light up in deep reds and oranges, and the reflection on the lake is something you'll want to photograph. And remember, it's not a tourist hotspot. You won't find gift shops or crowded boardwalks. But that's the beauty of it. Cowans Gap is the kind of place that locals know about, and once you visit, you feel like you found something personal, your own quiet corner of Pennsylvania. Number 11. Indian Caverns Ruins. Once a popular roadside attraction, the Indian Caverns in Center County have now been left to time and silence. They opened to the public in the 1920s and welcomed visitors for nearly a century, offering tours through limestone passageways filled with stalactites and legends. But after closing in 2017, the area was sealed off, and what remains today is something between a memory and a mystery. The parking lot is overgrown, the signs are fading, and the entrance to the caverns is locked behind a gate. Most people don't even realize it ever existed. You can't go inside anymore, but the ruins still draw curious explorers and history buffs. The area around the site is eerily quiet, surrounded by woods and nature slowly reclaiming the land. It's a place that reminds you how fast something once lively can be forgotten. If you ever happen to be in the area, it's worth a respectful visit, not for what it offers now, but for what it used to be. And for that strange, quiet feeling you get when you stand at the edge of something that time has let go of. Number 10. Devil's Den Cave. Located on the Gettysburg battlefield, Devil's Den is best known for its jagged boulders and its history as a key site during the Civil War. But there's a hidden layer to this spot that most visitors never notice. a cave tucked beneath the rocks, shrouded in shadows and stories. The cave itself isn't officially open to the public and has been sealed off in places due to safety concerns. But for years, curious explorers have tried to slip through cracks and crevices to see what lies below. Some say it was used by soldiers as a hiding place during the battle. Others believe it's haunted. Whether or not you believe the ghost stories, the area carries an eerie quiet, especially near dusk. The rocks are massive, the paths are uneven, and the air often feels unusually still. If you visit, stick to the marked paths. But know this, beneath your feet may lie one of the battlefield's most mysterious and off-limits spaces. A place where echoes of history, and maybe something more, still linger. Number 9. The Shola train wreck site. Tucked away in the remote woods of Pike County lies the forgotten site of one of the deadliest train accidents in Civil War history, the Shola train wreck. In 1864, a military train carrying Confederate prisoners collided with a coal train on a blind curve, killing over 60 people instantly. Today, there's no major marker, no visitor center, and barely any signage. You have to hike through dense forest and follow old railroad grades just to find the site. The only clues you're in the right place are a modest stone marker and the eerie quiet of the woods. Some say they've felt an unusual chill in the air here, or heard the distant sound of a train whistle, even though no trains run through anymore. Whether you're a history buff or someone who enjoys uncovering forgotten places, the Shola site is a solemn, hidden reminder of a tragedy most Pennsylvanians have never even heard of. Number 8. Lost Children of the Alleghenies Monument. Deep within the dense forests of Blair County lies one of Pennsylvania's most heartbreaking and hidden memorials, the Lost Children of the Alleghenies Monument. This stone marker tells the tragic true story of Joseph and George Cox, two young brothers who disappeared from their home in 1856. Searchers looked for days without luck until a local man claimed to have seen the location of the boys in a dream. He followed the vision and found them exactly where he had seen. Sadly, the boys had already passed, but the discovery gave closure to a mystery that shook the entire region. Today, the monument still stands in a remote clearing in the woods, far from main roads and barely marked. Most visitors stumble upon it only after hearing the story from locals or digging into Pennsylvania lore. I hope you are enjoying this video so far, so make sure to hit that subscribe button and let us know if there is any other place you'd like us to feature in next video. Number 7. Mount Mariah Cemetery Catacombs. Tucked away in southwest Philadelphia is a place where nature, history, and mystery collide. Mount Mariah Cemetery. Once one of the largest cemeteries in the region, it's now partially abandoned, with vines crawling over tombstones and cracked mausoleums lost to time. But the real secret lies beneath the surface. Rumors have long circulated about catacombs and underground vaults that exist below certain sections of the cemetery. Some sealed, some still accessible if you know where to look. Official access is restricted, but urban explorers have claimed to find dark, forgotten tunnels below the oldest parts of the grounds. Even above ground, it's hauntingly beautiful. Crumbling headstones, Gothic-style crypts, and silence that feels almost too quiet, especially in the early morning or at dusk. It's not a tourist attraction, and it's not always safe, but it is one of the most chillingly hidden places in all of Pennsylvania. Number 6. Frics Lock Village. Just a few miles from Phoenixville sits a place that looks frozen in time, Frics Lock Village. This abandoned 18th century canal town once bustled with workers and families during the rise of the Schuylkill navigation system. But when the canal faded and the power plant next door took over, the people moved out, and the village was locked up. Today, it's fenced off and uninhabited. Dozens of old buildings still stand, from clapboard homes to stone farmhouses, but they're empty. Windows are broken, paint is peeling, and vines cover the walls. It's not open for public wandering, but tours are occasionally offered by local historians. The strangest part? Even though it's completely abandoned, it still feels watched. People say you can hear footsteps, see curtains move, or feel like someone's just out of sight. Whether you believe the stories or not, Frics Lock is one of the eeriest ghost towns in the state, and a haunting glimpse into what gets left behind when industry moves on. Number 5. Yellow Dog Village. Hidden in the hills of Armstrong County, Yellow Dog Village is an abandoned 20th century mining town that feels like it was frozen overnight. Built in the 1910s for industrial workers and their families, the village thrived for decades until water contamination and infrastructure issues forced residents to leave in the early 2000s. Now, over a dozen homes sit empty, many with furniture, books, and personal items still inside. Some look like families stepped out for groceries and never came back. It's eerie, haunting, and strangely beautiful. While it's privately owned today, guided tours have been offered in the past to those interested in its eerie, photogenic decay. Peeling wallpaper, toys on the floor, and silence that stretches across the neighborhood make it feel like a real-life time capsule. Number 4. Concrete City. Tucked away in Luzerne County is a place that looks like a forgotten military training ground, but it's actually one of the first examples of concrete housing in America. Built in 1911 to house miners working for the Delaware, Lackawanna, and Western Railroad, Concrete City was made entirely from solid concrete blocks. At first, it seemed like a smart, fireproof solution. But there was one big problem. There was no working sewage system, and the buildings were too expensive to demolish. So by 1924, the village was abandoned, and has stood empty ever since. Today, the 22-story concrete houses are still there, cracked and crumbling, covered in graffiti, and surrounded by trees that have grown wild through the empty doorways. It's quiet, unsettling, and feels like a set from a post-apocalyptic film. You won't find any tourist signs or welcome centers. It's unmarked, off the grid, and officially considered unsafe. But for explorers and photographers, Concrete City remains one of Pennsylvania's strangest and most fascinating forgotten experiments. Number 3. Boxcar Rocks. Hidden deep within St. Anthony's Wilderness in Lebanon County is a natural wonder that looks more like something from a fantasy film, Boxcar Rocks. Also known locally as Chinese Wall, this bizarre formation of jagged stone columns juts sharply from the forest floor in a long, narrow ridge. There are no signs pointing the way, and most maps don't clearly mark the trail. You'll need GPS or insider info to find it. But when you do, you're rewarded with a scene unlike anywhere else in Pennsylvania. Layers of stone stacked like giant teeth, stretching out through the trees. It's a favorite among photographers and hikers who love to go off-grid. And when the light hits just right, the rocks glow with a pinkish-orange hue that makes the whole area feel almost sacred. Number 2. Alvira Bunkers. Hidden within the state game lands of Union County lies a place that looks like the set of a Cold War movie, the Alvira Bunkers. These concrete domes scattered through the woods were built by the U.S. military during World War II as part of the Susquehanna Ordnance Depot intended to store explosives. But here's the strange part. The government seized the land from a small town called Alvira, evicted the residents, built the bunkers, and then never really used them. The town was wiped off the map, and the bunkers, about 150 in total, were left to slowly decay. Today, if you wander the trails, you'll suddenly come across one of these moss-covered domes sticking out from the trees. Some are open, some are sealed, but all of them feel strangely out of place. There are no big signs or tourist facilities, just a surreal reminder of wartime plans that never fully happened. It's part history, part mystery, and one of the most unique hidden experiences in Pennsylvania. Number 1. Kinzua Bridge Ruins at ground level. Most people who visit the Kinzua Bridge skywalk marvel at the view from above, but very few know that the real hidden gem lies beneath it. When a tornado destroyed part of the historic Kinzua Viaduct in 2003, it left a twisted trail of iron wreckage scattered through the forest below. Today, you can actually hike down to the valley floor and stand beneath the fallen structure. The massive beams, rusted bolts, and shattered supports now look like a giant's toy set tossed across the earth. There's a marked trail from the skywalk that leads you down. And once you're there, the perspective completely shifts. Looking up at the remaining bridge from ground level is both humbling and surreal. Nature has started to reclaim the wreckage, with moss and trees growing between the iron remains. It's one of the most unique hikes in Pennsylvania, a place where you can walk beneath what was once the tallest railroad bridge in the world, now transformed into a monument of destruction, resilience, and time.